one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Newberry.
Here.
Crowner. Johnson.
Here.
Lees.
Here.
Young.
Here.
Entertain a motion to approve our agenda.
So move. Support.
Motion and support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Right, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion approved is presented.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Move into our council and staff reports. Our administrator.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple items. Well, I guess first, I'd like to thank everybody for all of the hard work that was put in the 4th of July event, and community for coming out. Another great event. Andy's hard work, but others as well. Police Department, Therese, Melanie. Kelly didn't do anything. Just joking. Just joking. Fire Department. I mean, Public Works, especially. I mean, they were out there bright and early for several days in a row as well. But great event, and just thank you to all the volunteers that came out and put it on. Just a reminder, on the 12th at 5 o'clock, we have a quick session. And Jeremy Hess will be out to give an update on ABB purchase for council. Don't have a date on that, but I imagine it'll be the next meeting, hopefully as well. And we do need to come up with dates for the work session on the 2080 and the CIP. But I remember that we had several things going on, so I'm going to try and send out a message to try to coordinate dates on those as well. So you were gone the first 2 weeks, I believe, in August, John? So we'll probably do it then.
Do it then.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Public Works, anybody report for them? Other than the fact that we saw them out and about doing lots of things before this event.
I think they started at 5 or 4 this morning, so.
Well, it's a good thing that they're taking a little bit of time to relax here, so. Jesse, anything from?
Yeah, got a few things going on. It kind of started a little earlier than I expected before I could talk to you guys about it. We're looking at a possibility of getting a K-9 officer here at West Burlington Police Department. We've looked a lot into it. There's a lot of grants that are available out there that we're working on. Officer Beckman with the Burlington Police Department is a certified trainer, and he's getting us in the right direction with that. I talked to City Administrator Mansager about it, and he likes the idea. We're shooting for 100% donations to get this kicked off, so the initial won't be any cost to the city. Most of the training will be able to be held here at Burlington, but for 2 weeks the officer will have to go to Ohio to get the initial training with the dog. Typical training with the dog is 6 weeks away, so down to 2 weeks, and then the rest of them he can work with Officer Beckman with the Burlington Police Department and do all the training here. So there's still things that we're getting up and running. Just wanted to shoot that through you guys and see if you had any questions or anything like that. There's several different roles that a K-9 can bring in. A lot of it could be tracking drug hits, different programs like that. Most dogs are dual purpose, so what we're looking at would be the drugs and tracking. That's just what the majority of the calls we have are either drugs or trying to track somebody down after something happens and they take off running. So that would help us out tremendously. So We did have a booth set up yesterday, getting donations, and they kind of, like I said, kind of jumped the gun a little bit, but I just wanted to run it by you guys and see if you guys had any questions about that. We had 5 firework calls in the city yesterday, no citations. I was not very happy about that. I did see several get shut off. I do have a department meeting next Monday, just with no reserve officers right now. We got a couple through training and another one that was working all week. I just didn't have any of them available. So I'm looking at going back to the mandatory overtime and everybody working next July 4th so we can have more officers present. I did push out the schedule all the way through next July of next year. With the current manpower we're having now, we're looking on July 4th, if everybody works, we're looking at about 70 plus hours of overtime that we'll pay out that day. But I just think we need to have more officers up here between. I had 3 working last night plus myself, but answering calls and other calls besides fireworks, which wasn't really, not many that were called in, but there's a few options that I can do next year that I think will help out quite a bit with that. But I'll just have a little bit more presence. We'll have certain officers that'll stay here the whole night and not leave. So starting at about 6 p.m. to the end. So that's another thing that I'm working on for next July 4th. It'll be a Thursday night next year. So Thursday night. So it'll be kind of the opposite of this year with it being on Tuesday. It's going to be Thursday next year. So that's one other thing I'm looking into next year.
So did we have much trouble at all?
Yeah, we had some issues up here with juveniles yesterday. I received a phone call when I got up here. We had a large group of probably a dozen out there shooting fireworks and back behind the police department. I got there and they all scattered and just taunting me, try to tell them to come to me, and they start walking to me, and then when they get to me, then they take off running, kind of thing. So just interfering with talking to them, trying to ID them. Had some kids throwing rocks, was reported to me today, from out back there around the parking lot. So we had some issues there. We just had some big groups of kids walking through. There's no crime against that, but I just think with, a couple more officers would maybe deter that a little bit. And it was very busy yesterday, and what I mean is there's just a lot of people here last night. It was a very good turnout. Sean will talk about that at the fire department, but there was a lot of people here last night. It was one of the busier ones that I've seen for a while. So
those fireworks that were shot off towards the tent were not small fireworks.
No,
just
they
to be
were not.
clear.
No,
very dangerous, and somebody could have gotten hurt. So
you have a lot of people sat underneath the tent shade there, but with the kids back there by the parking lot shooting them off towards that way was not safe. So those are some things that I have in store next year. Overall, I said fireworks calls were down. Last year, I think we had 17 or 18 calls for fireworks on July 4th, and this year we only had 5. So the call-ins were a lot less. I believe there's a lot less being shot off this year, but there's still a great number of them being shot out rather close to this area. And nowhere in the city limits downtown is able to do that. So
Back to this K-9 thing.
Yep.
Will we need an extra officer
Nope.
for that?
we'll just train an officer that's already on staff. So I have an officer that's interested in doing that. And part of that, we're looking at getting a new car for next year that you guys approved in the budget. And whatever donations that go above and beyond the K-9 dog and all the training will go towards the car. There's not a lot of an outfit that we need to do for the car, but there are some safety features, dog kennel in the back. They'll have sensors in there about heat, so if the car would shut off, it would automatically pop the door off, send alarms to the officer that the car is malfunctioning or the car is malfunctioning. So those kind of things will help get paid by the fundraising that we're going to do. So
What about the 2 weeks of training? Is that in your budget, or do we need to?
no, it'd be just during their regular. So I mean, we'll have a little bit of travel, but we have we have a pretty good amount in travel budget for training in our budget anyway, so that should be all covered with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sean, fire?
No more fires, please. We spent the weekend, we had 2 calls to New London, to the same structure. We were over there, we left at like 12:40 in the morning on Sunday and returned about 4.5 hours later, and then we were called back again that evening, for rekindle. Helped them out along with Danville and Mount Pleasant. No one was hurt over there. It was not fireworks, it was improperly discarded smoking materials, improper use of smoking in bed. Pancake breakfast went really well. For the first time in 15 years, I didn't cook sausage, and from the looks of it, the only one that got sick was Mike and Andy, so I was doing pretty good. Or actually, those guys were doing pretty good. Jesse was cooking the sausage, so. The only complaint I heard was I need to stay away from the grills and sit up front more often. That was from my wife. It was actually a good time. Saw a lot of people in town come through. Chatted with a few of them. It was nice to see several of the people that have not been able to get out to come out, and they said they're not going to miss it for anything. They love coming uptown, not just for the breakfast, but for all the festivities that are put on by all the city employees. So, other than that, I really have nothing. It was a nice quiet 4th for me because I was sitting in a car driving to Grinnell and back, listening to the music put on by Iowa's teenage youth that left today to head to Europe for 3 weeks. My daughter was one of them, for band and choir. I did see your son across the gymnasium there. He's got 2 kids, you said, that are also in the band, so it's quite a large contingency that are going to be over there representing all of us in Iowa, and the music was really, really great. So unfortunate that we had some people that had to come downtown and try and ruin the event by shooting fireworks off within the business area. We have our city code, it's for a reason. We had some kids do that the one year, we were fortunate enough to catch them. So hopefully the parents are listening and they take proper measures to ensure that no one gets hurt. It does come back on them. That is the city code, that if someone's hurt, it's the responsible party who is liable.
State code as well.
So,
Thank you. Well, Kelly, do you have anything
Not tonight.
from the pool?
Pool. I don't think we have anything in the pool. I tried Bosco sticks for the first time. See what they were.
I stopped by on the 4th of July. I stopped over there in the afternoon. They were, with the staff they had, it was a good turnout. They were at capacity. I talked to Heather for a while, one of the assistant managers over there. So I chatted with her for about 20 minutes. They said it was a very family-oriented day. A lot of family that was there. It was a very good day for the pool, that she said, so.
They did close early that day, which is fine, but it was nice to have it open for,
That was planned.
It's typically only open for 3 or 4 hours. So.
Okay, any other staff reports that we need? If not, Kathy?
Just want to thank everybody for stopping at the visioning tent. We had quite the turnout. It's nice to see.
John?
No, I came up and I thought the 4th of July went very well. I think there was a lot of work done that nobody's seen, and want to express the thanks for that. So,
Therese?
Well, if Mike would have been here tonight, I'd have sang my glories to him. That poor man, he's been run ragged for the last 4 days and nights, getting things ready and prepared and getting this done and that done. And the bike races, they went off pretty well. I think it was the hottest day ever that I can remember for bike races, that early in the morning. And my cohorts, Melanie and Kathy, showing up, and we were blessed to have the city administrator come and hand out medals along with the chief and a fireman. I don't remember which one it was, but
It was
Was
Lieutenant
that-
Uinger,
was
and
it Ron, Jesse, and the young man was lieutenant.
we had Uinger and Brockett.
Brockett was handing out the medals.
Brockett, okay. Peyton Brockett.
and it worked a lot better with the little go-kart getting you guys up and down the hill. So we had 34 people signed up for the bike races, and it was a good outing. I believe John's daughter was there with her children, but I didn't see him cheering them on.
I didn't
He
make
was
it
there, he
in
loaded
time.
up the bikes at the end. I
I
waved.
didn't make it for the race.
Done super. Thanks. Good job with the bike race, Teresa. Good energy. Good to have the young families and young kids involved. And I had the parade, and that went well. We had 40 entrants in the parade. I won't say it went off without a hitch, but people had fun. Candy was thrown. Nobody got hurt. Life is good. Make a few adjustments for next year. But thanks for participating, and look forward to more folks next year. Thanks. And I do want to shout out to Mike Brissy and the Public Works guys. Last night was late and dark till things got done, yet early this morning, business was able to happen on Broadway. It was early, and they had it cleaned up, and we're working on getting the tents down on the sides. And it did not look like we had just had a major festival here the previous day. So good job picking up, cleaning up, and everybody keeping the trash in control. So thank you, Mike. That's all I got.
Thank you. I had a number of people compliment me that are not West Burlington residents. They were saying how nice they thought our community had put together this 4th of July, and they counted on being able to come over and be part of it. So they really did enjoy it. And I certainly saw Andy at different times working away at something that had to be fixed or whatever. So when he comes back, I'll make sure we do an extra congratulations on his work. Well done. With that, do I have any citizen inquiries on items that are up for new business? Okay. If not, then we'll move into new business. We consider the purchase of a confined space retrieval system from Ferguson for $7,944.17.
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion on this item? Okay. It's something I believe we needed, so. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Our second item of business is considering a resolution adding, excuse me, I gotta increase the size on this. Jayla Alson and Andrew Strasberg to the fire department.
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Newberry,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Standard. That's Mr. Strasbaugh.
Okay.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thanks for wanting to be part of our fire department. Appreciate it.
Our third item of business, we consider entering into a contract with the Southeast Iowa Regional Planning Commission for grant administration services related to Phase 2 of the Gear Avenue Trail Project.
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion support. Any discussion on this item?
Greg, explain why we have to have that.
First thing, I received check plans today. Those are with DOT, tentative November letting for the project. These are federal pass-through dollars, and we've typically used regional planning on similar projects where you are monitoring Davis-Bacon rates and other federal issues, funding, reimbursements, et cetera. They have a team of individuals that are pretty familiar with those rather complicated regulations. And we get pretty good bang for our buck in teaming up with regional planning to get that done and get our grant dollars back to the city to reimburse us for the project, which is around 1.2 and change. Those are preliminary numbers with the contingency in there as well. I'll be back once we narrow those down a little bit more to talk about that, because of course we do have our matching share as well, but about 80% or so is funded by outside funds, as you know. So good project, but those grant regulations can be a little tricky, and monitoring those rates, so it's real helpful when you have somebody that does that for a living.
And I'm assuming that we don't want any of that money going back because we didn't dot our i's or cross our t's, right?
That's right.
We didn't put a safety device in or something, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure they're all following, the rules and regs, and Davis-Bacon's following all those various rules and regulations, so it's nice to have somebody to team up with, so.
Is this a roll call vote or should be? I guess I'll call for a roll call.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Newberry.
Aye.
Motion carries. That is the last of our new business. Seeing no old business, do we have any citizen inquiries about things that would be upcoming for the city council? If not, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Nothing else.
So